such a thing should not be even heard in our society. We hear how you go to a police station to track kidnappers, and the police, sorry to mention in such details, but we need to understand that those who are paying tax, we expect a quality delivery of service to the society. People are going to track phones, track kidnappers, and yet the first thing we're going to be hearing the police will be asking them to do is to pay 40,000, 60,000, 100,000 to track their family members or to track their phones. No, this is not a hidden thing. Everybody knows about it. The government should weigh into this matter. That's the reason why we are paying tax. We shouldn't be paying tax, and yet the agencies are billing and charging us. Every government agency go there to do a thing, they charge you for things they are supposed to do for free. That's where government needs to weigh into all of these things. Because if you're going to be paying tax, or if you're paying tax, we should know, be rest assured that we are getting delivery for what we are paying for. We're getting the value for what we're paying for. You see, a situation happened and somebody was kidnapped. They got to the police. Okay, somebody was talking about a phone that got lost, and they paid money to track the phone. And after paying money to track the phone, they are still going to pay money for fuel for the police vehicle. Who does that? It has happened to me myself. I've had such experience. I got to the police station. I was asked to pay for them to track hoodlums when I came to report at the police station. So this should not be heard in our society. It's never heard in a civilized world. So government should ensure that government agencies are actually doing what they need to do, and there should be a supervisory channel through which they monitor what their agencies are doing. There should be, just as we have EFCC, the ICPC, the folks who are supposed to be monitoring what government agents are doing. They should be doing what they need to do, so that we can be rest assured that our money is being used judiciously. And also, apart from that, the politicians using the money for some that is not for corruption and lacks of that, the people can make demands of printed budget or publicizing the budget. Their budgets are publicized, but we can make demands to ask how our money is being used. Number 3, who is eligible to pay tax? Who is eligible to pay tax in Nigeria? As long as you are earning a taxable income, whether from a paid job or from a business or from an investment or from digital activities like crypto, you are expected to pay tax. As long as you're living in Nigeria and you're working here, you're a resident here, you're working here, you're expected to pay tax. Even remote workers, they are expected to pay tax. As long as you are earning above the threshold. Though there's a threshold, I'm going to show you the threshold. There's a threshold as long as you are earning above the threshold, because if you are earning from 800,000 downward, you're not expected to pay tax. That's zero tax. But if your income in a year is above 800,000, then pro rata will be put in place to calculate whatever you are earning in a year. Having removed the 800,000, then whatever is left will be calculated on the required percentage. So I will show you in a moment. Now, exemptions. Who are those exempted from tax? Because of time, I have to be very fast. Who does not pay tax? The first thing, those who are not paying tax or expect to pay tax are those who are earning less than 800,000 or any 800,000 downward per year. Are you getting that now? Because sometimes we just add, they say tax reform, paying tax. Anyone earning from 800,000 downward a year is not expected to pay tax. Students are not expected to pay tax. Retirees are not expected to pay tax. But if they are doing businesses, taxable businesses within the threshold, or above the threshold, if they are making money from their investment, from their businesses, income that's above the threshold, they're expected to pay tax. What about organizations that are exempted from taxes? We have churches, mosques, and officially registered charity organizations. Officially registered charity organizations, they are not expected to pay tax. But church workers, mosque workers, charity organization workers who are paid salary, once their salary is above the threshold, they are expected to pay tax. They are expected to pay tax. So the church itself does not pay tax, but the workers are expected to pay tax. Now, let's look also under this note. Let's look at the items or zero-rated goods they are not paying tax on. I think these were not there before. They just added this was there to even benefit. That's to show that the tax is not meant to increase the price of things. Goods upon which VAT are no longer applied. We have food. Before now, we pay VAT on food. Now, VAT is being taken away from food items, for rent, for transport, for education, and for health care. VAT are no longer applicable. You can see the tax is not to weigh and distort the system. Because before now, we're paying VAT on all of stores, but now the VAT has, in this new reform, has been taken away. Okay, let's quickly look at what about the investment or capital gains that are expected to pay tax or not pay tax. For no tax on gifts. If you are giving a gift, you don't need to pay tax. That's why a lot of folks are working on mastering how to write their descriptions. Somebody is owing you money. Somebody is saying he bought a goods, he wants to pay. He said he will just write gift under. Because so government are not actually focusing on that. They analyze what you earn in a year. And but on gift, you're not paying tax on gift. About shares sold. If you sell your shares below 150 million, that one you're not expected to pay tax. But once your shares are above 150 million a year, shares sold, you are expected to pay tax. Or if the profit you are making on that shares, you bought shares for 5 naira, you sold it for 7 naira, and after you calculated the money in a year, you are to pay tax once the money profit exceeds 10 million. Don't forget, Dangote shares will be out anytime from end of this month to February. Last year it was out, came out cheap. Those that bought it, it rose up in 1 month or 2, and a lot of people cashed out last year, and a lot of people are salivating already now. As long as the stock comes out, I'm not advertising for the Dangote company, but just to tell you that you can take advantage of that. So also for FGM bonds, there's no tax. It's tax free. Other corporate bonds and mutual funds may be taxed depending on type and the gains. The mutual funds, the corporate bonds will be taxed. As a matter of fact, corporate bonds are taxed before being the dividends being given to you. So, but the mutual funds, depending on what is invested in. If the is invested in equities, you pay tax according to each type that's been invested in and against. Now, number 5, let's look at the new personal income tax rates. What are the tax rates? You need to get this. It's on your screen. New tax rate. The new personal income tax rate. From 0 naira to 800,000 naira, no tax per year. That means I pray nobody earns within that scope here. So you won't say, thank God, oh, I'm not any. No, that's that's not meant for believers. That's not meant for believers. In a whole year, it shouldn't make less than 800,000. That's nothing. So anyone within that range is not going to pay tax. But if I earn it from 800,001 to 2.2 million, you have to pay 15% of tax, provided, upon the calculation that 2.2 million, they will first remove the 800,000 of that tax you leave. Then whatever is remaining, it shall be taxed by 15%. If you are earning 2.2 million a year, they will remove 800,000. That will remain 1.4 million. Then they will tax the 1.4 million by 15%. That's what will be taxed on. And from 2.2 million to 9 million shall be taxed by 18%. The same thing applies. They will first remove the tax relief of 800,000. Then whatever is left, as if you are earning up to 9 million every year, from 2.2 million to 9 million every year, it shall be taxed by 18%. If you are earning 9 million and 1 to 13 million a year, it shall be after the tax relief is removed, 800,000, whatever is left shall be taxed by 21%. From 13 million and 1 to 25 million, the same thing applies. The rate is 23%. 23%. From 25 million and 1 to 50 million, the rate is 23% still. But anything 50 million above is executives, MDs, and lots of that. Or better still, you are earning up to 50 million a year, it shall be taxed 25% after 800,000 relief has been removed. Don't forget, income includes salary, rent, interest, digital crypto gains, and other sources. So when we are talking about income, it's not only salary earners alone. Those who are receiving salary, rent, interest, and digital cryptocurrencies, their gains, they pay in such honor. So, don't forget, VAT is taken away from the rent already. Number 6, tax on investment. Tax on investment. I want to be very fast. Tax on investment. For those who are getting dividends, we've talked about that earlier. As dividends from stocks are now paid on net of tax. As that is deducted before you receive them. Even capital gains from digital assets, like I said, MFX, one or cryptocurrency, are now taxed. They can police you on digital platform to get your tax. Don't forget, I said earlier, there's an exemption if what you sell in a year is less than 150 million, or if your profit is less than 10 million, you don't pay tax. So other security like treasury bills, commercial papers, bonds may attract the withholding tax, which is normal of 10%. They attract usual withholding tax of 10%. Number 7, we talked about remote workers and Nigerians living in abroad. As a remote workers in Nigeria, once you are earning in Nigeria and your income is above 800,000, you are taxed. So, unlike say, I'm a remote worker, they just pay me at home. Nobody is, they know they are monitoring what you are receiving, and you pay tax. This also applies whether your employer is in Nigeria or abroad. So same thing applies. They calculate that for you. Once above 800,000. So Nigeria in abroad, when they are not resident here in Nigeria, they are living abroad. If they don't have any business here, they have no reason to pay tax. Either all they do is just come to Nigeria and come and relax. But the moment they have investment in Nigeria, the same calculation will be calculated based on their business. So, as long the small scale business, if their income in a year exceeds 100 million, they are paying tax. That's for business owners. Once your income exceeds 100 million a year, that means you are expected to pay tax. So the same applies to anyone abroad. If you are coming here to Nigeria and you are making money here, you pay tax here once you exceed the threshold of 100 million. Number 8, as I round off, is how do you get tax ID TIN? You should go and get, because that's what we have. That will be like your wallet to get your own tax calculations, tax identity number. So you can go to jtb.gov.ng. You can go to JTB, is there on the screen, .gov.ng. So that's where you can get your tax identity card. I said that tax identity card. Tax identity number. So everybody must pay tax. Everybody must pay tax. So that means for those exempted, I've highlighted that. So you can go to that website, click it, register, and get your TIN. So number 9 just talks about the summary that the new law actually captures what is taxable. It's an improvement on the old law, like digital income, foreign income brought into Nigeria, prices grants. So those are things it captures. Presumptive taxation may apply to informal business owners without official records. So if you are not having record of your business, you don't have any record of your income, and they will just charge you, how do we call this, bill for light that does not have to be paid, estimated bill. So they just charge you presumptively if you don't have records for your business. You just think that you have made 200 million. They tell you to go and pay even when you are not made 100,000. So you have to have records of your business. So zero VAT and tax relief on essential goods to cushion, to help the citizens. You can see they are aimed at helping citizens That's why they remove VAT on food, on rent,